Betty Blake was born on September 9, 1879, to her parents, James and Amelia, in Rogers, Arkansas. She was the seventh born of 9 children and worked alongside her mother, who was a dressmaker after her father's death at a young age. Her journey in fame would slowly begin in the year 1900, when she traveled to Oologah in Indian Territory. She was working the front counter when a young Will Rogers entered to pick up a package that he had ordered. For Will, it was love at first sight. For Betty, it was potential. Will and Betty would become friends, and Will would eventually court Betty via his letters while he traveled the world. However, Betty wanted a serious man in her life, and she told him as such. She was no ordinary girl. She would make Will Rogers wait 8 years before she finally accepted Will's proposals in 1908. However, Betty was more than just a stay-at-home wife. She would also be on the road with Will at times. She handled all the family's finances, as Will was quite the spender. She would give Will an allowance to ensure that he did not spend all of their money. She would also become a key asset in his business deals, and she was the main reason Will became a comedian in his roping shows. While Will was on the road, Betty took care of their young children, and she worked as a sales clerk at a mercantile. She was also very skilled in musical art. She played the piano, she sang, which was one of the things that her and Will had in common. In 1935, Will would die in an airplane crash in Alaska, and Betty would be a key component in the building of the Will Rogers Memorial Museum, located in Claremore, Oklahoma. In 1944, she would pass away from cancer and be placed at the memorial alongside her well-known husband. Betty Blake Rogers was a remarkable woman who had influence in her time. She maintained Will Rogers' personality like no one else. She would be recalled as, and remembered, as Will stated, the greatest trick he ever pulled.